And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, another Coach's Corner. We're going into Week 7. Unbelievable. In here with Coach Andy Hake, and of course, this guy who, if you don't know, you should know. Jeff Clegg, offensive guru, the quarterback whisperer. Is that fair enough?
The quarterback whisperer.
My guy. And what do we got on here? What is this? I like that.
Little Hellcat.
I like that.
Little Hellcat, a little Dodge Hellcat.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then rocking the YSN hat,
Got
which
that
is
right.
There's nothing better. So
here we are.
Week 7, Coach, talk to me about Week 6. What did you like about the Eagles this week, and what things did we work on in practice?
Well, our kids really came out and played hard. We had a few guys that were out the first quarter, and then our guys played real hard. And when they came in, they got the job done. I'm just really happy with, we had 3 penalties for 30 yards, and that was refreshing. And there was no personal fouls. It was a clean game. The kids are really buying into what we're, what the plan is and what we're asking of them. And we're really having some leaders emerge. Cameron Davenport's really stepping up as a leader for us. Joe Batista is playing great football.
Yep.
But I'm really happy with Cam as a leader, and there's some other guys emerging. But if I was to say, who's our leader right now, I would say Cam Davenport has really come a long way. Wouldn't you say that, Coach?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then on the defensive side, you've got Raekwon Bell, who does a good job being a leader.
Tremendous.
And also all of our 5 linebackers. They're older guys, and Tubbs in the middle of it. He may not be a vocal guy, but he leads by example all the time.
Boy, does he hit. He's one of the most vicious, in the 21 years of coaching. He's one of the most vicious hitters I've ever had. He's about 5'9", 5'10", 210 pounds, 200 pounds.
All muscled up.
And he is jacked up, and boy, does he like running the football and tackling.
Is that born or is that learned?
You know what? That's a great question. I think you can become a better hitter, but you know what? It's when you see great hitters, like tremendous hitters, guys that are just, they have it.
Yeah.
You could develop skills. You could develop skill sets and hone in your skills.
Yeah.
But there's some human beings that are born to do certain things, right?
Yep.
And Einstein was probably born to be a mathematician, a physicist, you know what I mean? And, Beethoven was probably born to play music and compose music. And Brian Tubbs was born to hit, you know what I mean? And I just think he's one of those guys. And I just really pleased with our guys' performance and how they're playing and, how we're really getting into a better team. And you could see your team turn the corner and grow. And I thought Leetonia had a big line. Oh, my God, they were big. And they play very hard. Paul Hooley is one of the better coaches in the area, period. And
he's got that state title.
Yes, and he's been coaching for years. Great teams at Crestview, at Poland. Leetonia, he really got them playing great ball. They play hard. They just didn't have the athletes I think we had, and turned into a track meet. And it's a tough thing.
Let's talk about that new field at Leetonia. You guys play on turf as well at Campbell. So, is that an advantage to you because of your speed? Do you feel like, if you go on grass, it's going to slow you down, or is that kind of a thought of the past?
I think it helps us. I mean, I tell our kids, I play into that.
Yeah.
Tell our kids we're the greatest show on turf. I joke, you got to have fun. I tell the kids, hey, man, we're on turf again. And our kids really love playing on turf. And our next 4 games, 3 are at Camel, and then the last one's at East Palestine. So we're on turf the rest of the year.
Yes, sir.
And our kids love it. You know what I mean? And as a young kid, there's something to be said about playing on turf.
Makes you feel like you're playing in the big leagues.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, no, really. There's nothing like a beautifully cut, short grass field.
Nice manicured field.
There's nothing like
everybody loves it.
But I'll take turf.
I would say so. I mean, so far so good, right?
Yeah. I mean, and again, we're not, by no stretch of the imagination do I think we're one of the best teams in the area right now. But you know what? We're getting in the conversation of being pretty relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all you, as a coach, and it's fun for the kids. They're excited. And, sky's the limit once you get momentum and once you get guys believing.
All right, Jeff Clegg here, of course. you've got to feel like you're playing Madden sometimes with this offense. As fast as they are, as much as you can dial things up. What is it like for you to be on the sidelines, in the box, wherever you are on a Friday, Saturday night, to be in control of this offense?
The coolest thing about it is that we've got 7 or 8 different guys that can touch the ball and score at any moment that they touch the ball. So I will say that, in my years of coaching, my years of playing, you kind of knew, hey, this is the weapon we got. And we're going to feed this guy. We're going to get the ball to the weapon. And where we're at right now with these kids, they're all weapons.
Yeah.
And they can explode at any minute. And that's you see it on there. We throw simple screens sometimes. The next thing you know, it's 80-yard touchdowns. And it's not the same guy that did it the last play. So that's a lot of fun. And it becomes a matter of, hey, man, how do we get this guy the ball?
Yeah.
We're in the third quarter, and these other guys have done well for us. But let's get this guy involved now because this game, it hasn't been, we just haven't had to call his number yet. When they do get called, big plays happen.
Yeah, they had 4. We had Joe threw 4 touchdowns to all 4 receivers last week, and you know what? Honest to God, it wasn't like throw to him. It was just you call the play, and there's guys that you're targeting, but at the same time, I can't make the guy catch an out route and make 4 guys miss and then house it. That's not. That's just
it's not coachable.
No, it's just an advantage, and we got a couple guys that run around 11 flat, and you know what I mean. That's you can't practice that. And the one thing about it is this too, just all the years of coaching, you can't practice against speed.
Nope.
You tell your kids, hey, look, this guy's fast or that guy's fast, and but when you see it, you think you have an angle on defense, and then you don't.
Yep.
And that's something that you talk about and you try to simulate it.
Yep.
And I know when you play real fast teams, sometimes you put 13 guys on defense in practice just to say there's more guys to deal with. But no, you know what? I'm just really happy with our guys, and like I said, there's teams in this area. We're not one of the better teams, but we're turning the corner, and once our guys believe. We got great athletes on our team.
You're on that radar for sure. I
Well,
mean, when I walk around and
appreciate
talk to coaches, I mean, they say, watch out for Valley. Watch out for Valley. I mean, and here's the other thing is they love the creativity that you guys put with your teams, with your offensive and defensive schemes. Where does that come from? Like, is that just something you set up at night? Do you watch Madden? Do you watch other, pro games, college games? And do you say, hey, I think we can do that really well? I don't want to, spill any secrets here.
Well, it must look like Madden because Coach Hake always tells me to stop calling Madden football plays out there.
Well, yeah, you know what? Running a wide open offense.
It's fun to watch.
It's fun, and you know what? It's really fun when you can do you watch college football and you watch pro football, and a lot of teams in high school they line up or 2 backs, run wing T, or they're running power formations, and it's hard to take plays from colleges and pros. But when you see something really cool on Saturday or Sunday, and you can implement that,
you're DVRing it over and over again.
You can implement it, and you can isolate guys, and you can get those slot guys on linebackers and safeties, and you can really target guys. And if someone's going to high-low, we have a great receiver, Vaishon Gurley. I mean, I do think he is one of the best players in the area. I think that Vaishon is a scholarship guy. He went to YSU last week and watched the game. He's a junior, and I think that, I think he's a scholarship guy, and you have to figure it out to high-low him. And if you do that, we got three other guys. Right. We got a running back. Yep. And then you can isolate guys. So, there's fun things you can do watching games and screens especially. There's some fun screens you see on Sunday and Saturday, and you can implement those. Jeff does a great job bringing those ideas to practice, and I have a great defensive coordinator, Aaron Agresta. We really did a great job. We got in a 6-2 last week against Leetonia, and we really he did a great job, coaching up our kids to stop the run. And, I'm blessed to have great players and great coaches, and I think you win with people. And that what Woody Hayes always said, you win with people. You don't win with ideas. So, you know what? Somebody can get a bunch of plays off Madden or get a bunch of plays off Saturday or Sunday, watch Ohio State, you got to coach it up. You got to have the guys to execute it.
Yep.
And I think one big thing in high school is pass protection, protecting your quarterback. And we had some of those problems against Leetonia, we had an open door policy, a Southern open door policy on our line last week, and we have to fix that. And you know what? It's just reps. And yesterday we had a great practice doing passing and picking up those blitzes and stepping and shooting our hands. And it was a physical practice, and we're going to do that again today, because if we give Joe a few seconds, he can hurt you.
He's dangerous.
Oh, gee. And you know what? The best thing with our quarterback is he's brave.
Yep.
You know what? He'll stay in there and hang in there that extra second and not panic or release the ball early. He's getting better at that.
Throwing his guys open.
That's something that he's really worked on, and Coach Clake's worked with him and throughout the year. And Joe's a much different quarterback than when we got him.
Yep.
And I think he's getting better and better and better. And with guys believing and getting that encouragement and enthusiasm, I don't know where the ceiling is with these guys. I don't.
I want to see, from your standpoint, I asked Coach Pawlansky over at Poland if he had to take away one thing from his team that would make him, like if he had to coach against his team, what would he do to take away? Because I think as an offensive coordinator, you have to do that constantly. Is kind of, when you have a business, you try to put yourself out of business daily so that way nobody else can, so you can prevent against it. Do you have to do that for like an offensive coordinator standpoint of, hey, I know what our weakness is, I know how to stop us, so we have to protect around that?
One of the things that I'm always aware of is, as a defensive guy, they're going to try to take away our first threat, which is going to be Vashon.
Yeah.
So what are we going to be able to do with how they're lining up to Vashon? So I come out in the game, and any of our packages we're lining up in the first 5 plays of the game, I am basically asking the guys up in the box, how are they aligning to this kid? Because I know if they're going to take that away. That's going to be the first read, is what are we going to have available after that? Because you're talking about the weaknesses. I think with our teams, it's the many strengths we have at skill players.
Yep.
Who are you freeing up by the way you're playing us? And that's what I want to expose. That's what I want to attack. Watching, you say the Madden taken away, they're getting into football a lot of the conflict players.
Yep.
So I really want to find out, how are they playing us? Who can I put in a conflict position with one of these other athletes in space and make them try to make a play against us?
Oh, my gosh, he's like a carbon copy of you.
Well, no, he's the guy.
It's amazing.
You know what? I coached Jeff, and Jeff was the Offensive Player of the Year in the state of Ohio in 2011. And actually, we played the North-South game. I coached North-South game, and he was our quarterback. And that was when there was one team. Now there's a big school, small school.
Yeah.
He played in the big one. It was the last time they played at Ohio State Stadium. He threw a touchdown pass. Jeff, we took the brink of going to a state title game. And, Jeff's a tremendous, and he's good to kids. And we're lucky to have him. But, the things he's talking about, those are serious things. Who you put in conflict, leverage. On our slot players, the outside linebacker wide enough to be able to take that quick out. Do they have leverage on that quick out? Because a lot of times it's a simple thing. I know it sounds simple, but hey, run a quick out. Why? Because his leverage, he can't cover that. And our guys are fast.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to when the coach told you to cover this guy in practice, you didn't realize how quick he was.
Right.
And now we need to get better. There's no doubt about it. Our offensive line, I'm really proud of them. They really are getting better. And we're solidifying some positions and getting some continuity there. But I knew weeks 1, 2, and 3, we would not be I kept telling our coaches, weeks 1, 2, and 3, we will not be the same team 6, 7, and 8, 9.
No.
Because, there's growth that takes place, and I think that's on every team.
Right.
But when you're dealing with city guys, once they start believing and playing a certain way, it's
they're in.
Dangerous.
Yes.
They're very dangerous. It reminds me of our Rain and East teams back in the city. Once you get on a roll, dangerous. And we're getting closer to that point. There's a lot of things that we have to fix, but they're fixable, and especially when it's you. It's not the enemy. The enemy, if they just have better players, sometimes that's very difficult. Yep. But when it's you and stopping turnovers, stopping penalties, stopping plays that you can fix and prevent.
Right.
That's it's us. It's never the opponent. It's us. And we deep sixed ourselves in one game this year by not playing hard enough. And we talk about that. Guys, you got to play hard no matter what. And when things, you hit the wall, you got to buck up and fight. And when you play a good team, you got to counterpunch. You got to get up and fight because, they're going to punch you and knock you down.
Oh, yeah.
Because great teams do that.
Yep.
And it's just, are you going to answer? You guys going to answer, or are you going to feel sorry for yourselves?
Answering the bell. That's what it's all about.
It's crazy because, you have a 2.5-hour window to show everybody what you're made of. And it's, you got all week you practice. You get the best practice week of all time. But if you don't play one that 2.5-hour window, the fans think and the people think, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, they don't
understand.
What are you doing in practice?
Yeah, would you guys even practice during the week?
Yeah.
And of course we do. It's just, and even the worst teams in the area or the state, of course they practice. It's just that either they don't have the Jimmies and Joes or they don't, that 2.5 hour window.
Or they don't have the X's and O's.
It's tough. It's a tough thing sometimes, but no, Jeff's done a heck of a job with our guys. Aggressive's done a heck of a job with the guys and our other coaches. And we're in a good position right now. We could be in a better position, but we're in a good position heading into week, 6, 7?
This is 7.
Wow.
Do you ever wake up and from the practice before and go, okay, I think the guys got it. I think we're this close.
Yeah, and then as soon as you do that, you know what I mean? It's never as good as it seems or as bad as it seems. Don't ever get too high. Don't ever get too low. Just, you know what I mean? You got to have that steady incline.
Yep.
And then, because once in a while you're going to dip down.
Yep.
The best teams, and I don't know, maybe at South Range they just have this straight incline. I don't know. But, there's some teams, Kirtland, South Range, Mogador, they just get better,
Yep.
And it's a tribute to their coaches, their kids, and their program. Those schools I just named, those 3, they have the best programs when it comes to small schools. And I'm not ripping on anybody because there's a lot of schools, small schools that have great programs. When you talk about elite, when you talk about the best of the best, the Alabama,
Yep.
the Ohio State, the Clemsons.
Yep.
I think when you're talking small school football, you have to say, South Range, Kirtland, and Mogador. Those are the schools that you have to say they're the best. And if you want to emulate the best and be like, that's who you have to be like. And that comes with believing. That comes with a real program.
And
time. And expectations. Hey, you're not playing at South Range and going half go.
No.
That's not how it's going. If you play a Mogador, the whole time you're playing Mogador, and the 12th man is the crowd. Kirtland, Tiger Laverdi, I don't even know what he's doing up there. You know what I mean? Because they just get in a stack eye and ground your face, and they really believe. I mean, my God, they'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere.
Doesn't
on
matter.
aircraft carriers, on beaches, and they'll beat you. They don't care what division you are. So, it's the programs. It's the best programs. And then out west, Marion Local and Coldwater and Versailles, St. Henry, the traditional teams that MAC conference, I don't even know.
Unbelievable.
When I retire, I'm gonna go out there and spend a summer and just go to all their practices and go to a bunch of games. And try to figure it out, because I don't know I don't know if anybody has the answer on them.
I mean, when you see them, it's different. There's big talk. We saw JFK go in the state championship last year, obviously with Springfield as well. It's one thing to talk about them. It's another thing to see and just understand that there's no quit. There's no off button for them. I mean, that's their life. So
and their brothers did it, their uncles did it,
Yeah,
their dads did it, and you know what? There's a sense of heroic belonging playing with those. In those programs.
Yes, sir.
And it's their town versus everyone.
Yep.
And they believe it. And they're separated. They're farm communities. They're German, French towns out there. And they just, it's a sense of togetherness. And they're tough. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Tough is one thing. And then watching them win all the titles in those lower divisions every year, you just think to yourself, if you're second or third in that league, you have a shot to win the state title.
Absolutely.
There has been years where there's 8 teams in that league and 3 of them have come out with state titles. Multiple years this has happened.
Because they're every division, aren't they not?
Yeah, they're in 5, 6, 7, 8. And there is no 8, but 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Sometimes I wonder if there should be an 8, but then I wonder if Mac will take that too. You know what I mean? It's one of
they
those.
would. Somehow they'd get it, because I don't know what it is, but hats off to their coaches. I see Reno Sakosha got his 400th win.
Yep.
Coach Brungard got 100 wins.
How hard is that? I mean, when you look at that, I mean, you see 700 in volleyball, you see 500 in baseball. To 100 wins in football, that's 15 years of success, and it doesn't feel like that. You know what I mean?
Hoffman got his 100.
He did.
Win, and those are they're in programs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's they're not flash in the pan. That's just every year.
Consistency.
Dan Williams at McDonald, I believe he probably has 100 wins.
Yep.
Didn't Coach Clark just get his 100th win a couple weeks ago?
Coach Clark.
Yep.
And these are guys that are real coaches.
Yep.
And you know what? They find ways to beat people or compete even when they're not. You could not have talent go 500, and that's a hell of a season.
Yeah.
Those guys have all done it.
Yeah.
Dan Williams this year, they don't have the same kind of team that they usually have because they're young.
Yep.
But
they're still doing it.
come playoff, they've had 300 yards the last 3 games rushing. So you know what? You can't say anything negative about that. I mean, they find ways to get the job done and get better, and that's all you can really ask for.
Finding ways to get the job done. It sounds like the title of this week, because you're playing a guy a couple weeks ago. He sat over here, and Bob Spate. Talk to me about Columbiana, what you like about them. I mean, what you like about Bob, and, of course, at the end of the day, what this game's going to be like. It's on Saturday, so you're going to be a featured game across the area, across the state. Exciting for you?
Well, I have a lot of respect for him. I mean, believe me, when he came on here the other day, that wasn't no phony baloney. I think he's one of the best.
Yep.
I think he is really, truly one of the best. If I had I do have a son, but if he was old enough, I would have no problem in playing with Spate. And I'd be very picky who he played for.
Yep.
And I think Spate is as good as any coach in the area. I think for whatever reason or the other, they're not having this traditional season for Columbiana. He'll just say we're not playing real well, and
They're beat up.
They've had some real bad injuries.
Yep,
Their
they're beat
quarterback's a good player. He's coming back this week.
Cassandra, yep.
He's a good player.
Yep.
I mean, my gosh, we saw him against McDonald week 2.
Very tough.
Oh my gosh,
Runs the ball so hard.
And
so hard.
Reads that midline and veer, and then he can throw the ball.
Yep.
Confidence is a funny thing too with adults, let alone kids. When you see in the pros and you see a team not start off well, things snowball.
Yep.
And then, what do you expect from kids? When things aren't going well, it's easy to get in quicksand. And I just think they might be in a little bit of quicksand. But when the game starts, it's 0-0. And we better be playing our best ball, because Columbiana is going to play ball. They're going to go end over. He's going to do 5 wide. He's going to break the huddle from the sidelines, run to the ball, run, play real fast. Yeah. He has tricks. And if you're not ready and you're thinking you're hot stuff or you're not on your toes, Columbiana will bite you.
Do you feel like, and Jeff, I'll kind of sort this to you as well, do you feel like Valley Christian has become the team that if you beat, you legitimize your season?
Well, this is still our first year here, so I'm not sure what the outside perspective is. I haven't really got to talk to a lot of coaches. I live in the football world, so after the end of the season, all the way up leading till next year, I'll be around a lot of those guys, and I get to hear what they think about us. I do think that at this point in time, we're on our way to the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're sitting at 8 in the region right now, so if you're a Division VII school and you beat us, you have to feel like that's a playoff caliber team that you just beat.
Big accomplishment.
So that's got to feel good. When we go against playoff caliber teams on our end, and Friday night when the clock hit 0 and we won the game, we definitely feel good about it. So I'm sure that's what some of the teams are thinking about us, but I'm not sure if we're there yet. We're still striving to be one of those marquee programs in the Valley.
I love it. Just talking to you guys pumps me up. I'm ready to go out there on Saturday. We talked a little bit offline about kids and kind of getting the showcase and being picked up. We saw, was it earlier this week or late last week, Brock Lowry, no-star athlete, offered by Iowa State. He's going to garner more along the way. You feel like that's not indicative of the players we have in this area?
Absolutely not. I really love Valley football. Youngstown High School football has a special place in my heart. I've been really into it, following it, all the different teams since I was about 5 or 6 years old. And I truly believe in my heart that this is the best quarterback class that the Valley has ever seen from top to bottom. We have 10, 11, 12 guys that can just sling the rock, and any of them can throw for 300 yards in a night. And I don't know if the Valley's truly had that many of those caliber guys out there. I was real happy to see Brock Lowry get that scholarship, especially going to a Power 5 program. I don't think he committed, but I think that's his first offer, and I think there's going to be more come for this kid. I think he's tremendous. And if you see him play, he's just efficient, has a big-time arm, and he's a heck of a runner.
Yep.
And there's a lot of guys out here like that. You have the Stevenson kid who we got to see firsthand over at LeBray.
Yeah.
He's real tough.
And he's special.
He's going to Yale, so he's got to be like the smartest quarterback in the area. We couldn't get him to make a single mistake. Yeah. I can tell you that much. I don't know what his completion percentage was, but he was just on point. Brady Shannon over there at Ursuline is just – think about the season that they've had halfway through the year. If you just ended the season right now, the wins that they've had, how they've pulled off a couple of those wins, the season that kid has had along the way, scoring almost 50 points a game against these huge schools. Yeah. It's just absolutely tremendous. Sherwood at Fitch has just been talked about for years and years.
Yeah, he's special, too.
He is special, man. And it's top to bottom. There's so many guys like this. I definitely want to –
There's a guy at Harding.
Oh, man. They're not a YSN team.
Foster.
I can't remember. Yes, Foster. Yep.
Foster. And he's going to Syracuse. He was one of the first kids in the area this year that got a scholarship, and he's
what an athlete he is.
3-star athlete. We only have 3 guys in the area that are rated 3 stars or even close to that. And I just think, with Caffey being out there at Hubbard, some of these quarterbacks in the area that just aren't. Bo Brungard, it absolutely blows my mind. I'm so happy that YSU offered him, and I know he committed last week.
Yep.
But this kid is just tremendous.
Who's a bigger winner in the area than him? And the answer is nobody.
I don't think anybody.
If you had to pick one guy, in a long time, who's the biggest winner in the area? You'd say Bo Brungard.
Has to be.
He's like a living legend playing right now.
But you know what the nice thing is and to kind of tail off your point there is when you're watching a Bo Brungard, you can find somebody else on that team or another team that you go, wow, this kid's special too. Mm-hmm. And people made a joke of the MVAC conference when it first started and the EOAC, but you look at it and you go, okay, we have talent that is peppered throughout the entire valley, no matter what conference you're in.
The quarterback Balone at Lowville.
Oh, my goodness.
He's tremendous too.
I mean, this guy's a tall guy that could throw and move around. And it's not like his line is the Cleveland Browns.
No.
Nothing against Lowville's line, but they're limited with players.
Yep.
I mean, only 20-some players on the team, and he's moving around. He has some great targets, but one of the receivers is there's two. He's a stud, number 7 or 3.
3, yeah.
He's a stud, but you know what? He's able to give him the ball. And he moves around, and he buys himself time. Johnson's son at Salem.
Yeah, Jackson.
He's unbelievable.
He's been having him read high level of an offense since he was in 8th grade.
Oh, yeah. He was reading Dr. Seuss and the playbook.
Yeah,
that's
right.
right.
That was it.
Probably came out the womb reading quarterback counter.
That's it.
And then who's the guy at the West Branch?
Drew DeShields. I mean, that's going to be one heck of a matchup, a rivalry game with those two guys. You could see 1,000 yards passing in one night between those two teams.
No, I don't. Yeah, the scoreboard will run out of lights because
it might.
Those are
Get the generator out.
Those are some high-powered offenses right there.
Both of them are on Big Dogs of the Valley this week. You can vote for that, ysnlive.com/Big Dogs, along with 4 other players this week, and then volleyball as well. We're here with Coach Hake as well as Coach Clegg. Guys, before we wrap up, I have to ask you the one question. Last week it was an interesting question about what your fears were.
Yeah.
Now it is, with Halloween right around the corner, everybody getting their Halloween costumes in order. What was your best Halloween costume growing up or even to this day? I know some dads dress up and kind of match their kids and their significant others. What was your best Halloween costume?
Well, last year at the dealership, we had a big event. We passed out candy to thousands of people.
Awesome.
And I mean, it was like really something.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny, Mr. Morantz, they all came down here dressed up. And I won the costume. This
is going to be good.
Oh, yeah, it's
now
got to be.
guess who I dressed
You should have asked
as?
me first, not him.
I don't know. Who?
Well, I dressed up as our former president.
Oh,
And I came out all the way with it. And I was either loved or hated by their guests. And what a polarizing situation that was. But no, they said best costume, we're going to give it to the old ball coach.
Is there a worst? Is there a worst costume you've ever had?
I don't, you know what I got, as a kid you dress up and go around. I don't really remember too much of costumes.
My mom dressed me up as a green Power Ranger. I'm still pissed about it.
Oh, my God. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, it was a green, sweatshirt and sweatpants, and then she put, a yellow thing on top. And I was like,
oh, I wish I had a picture. Friends like these,
so
who needs enemies,
That's
right?
it, man. That's so bad. So bad. What about you, Jeff?
All right, so I'm going to have to go with the best one. I had some younger cousins, and I was going chaperoning with some other, their parents, and I dressed up as Spider-Man.
All right.
And I had this nice Spider-Man outfit, and, I'll go it was the best one because all the kids in the neighborhood, as I walked around, wanted to take these
still
pictures.
Wears it?
My pajamas every night. Baby.
That's my man. Hey, that's why he's the
OC.
That's why he's the lieutenant, buddy.
My guy. Is there a worst?
No, I can't really think of one.
That works. That
Yeah,
works. Right. Gentlemen, I appreciate you joining me. As always, we appreciate Kufleitner, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram for housing us here in Boardman. And there's another one in Columbiana in case you're down my way in Columbiana. Appreciate John Kufleitner for the invite, as always. And good luck against Columbiana on Saturday, my man.
Hey, God bless you. It's nice seeing you again.
Appreciate
It's always
you.
fun to be
Jeff?
on this. And
Thanks for having
Blake,
me.
thanks for coming on, bud.
Guys, thanks for having me.
That's it.